everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Revelry Amp. Now this is the board that claims to get you amped to surf even when the conditions leave a lot to be desired. Now is it just another groveler or a legitimate staple in your quiver? Now Aaron, the shaper, reached out to me a while back and asked me if I wanted to test out a few of his boards. Now the interesting thing is Aaron and I are roughly the same height, and I think he surfs a little better than I do, but that actually works to my advantage because a lot of his boards fit my volume range. So it looked like a perfect pairing. Now I get to try out a ton of new boards just by borrowing whatever he shapes for himself. And I have to admit, Aaron is probably one of the nicest, coolest guys I've met recently. So I got to try the amp in 3 different sizes or versions. I got to try a 5.0, which was Aaron's personal amp. I got to try it in a 5.4 Twinser and a 5.4 thruster. And now looking at the contours, it's mostly a single concave that starts roughly about 8 to 10 inches from the nose, gets pretty deep throughout, and around the center of the board is probably or likely the deepest as the single. But then as you work your way back, you kind of run into this, and I don't know what the name of this channel is. Something I could kind of compare it to would be like the album Plasmic channel. Although this is much deeper where the channels are, and then the center actually V's out. So yeah, very different from any bottom that I've actually seen till now. So the amp is billed as a hybrid groveler. To give you an example, the 5.0 is nearly 28 liters. Now it packs a ton of foam into a very short outline. But I'd go as far as to say that this board is actually an Uber Groveler and not a hybrid groveler. It is a hybrid, definitely a groveler, but in terms of category, I would put it in the same box as the potato line from Firewire, the sweet potato, the twice baked potato. Very, very similar proportions. However, with that bump wing and narrower tail, you get a bit more performance. But because the board is still nice and wide, very easy to grovel. And on this particular wave, it's got to be like a foot. I was able to maintain speed. And I think a lot of it has to do with the channel too, providing the extra lift. Overall, again, Uber Groveler is the category I would put this in. And here I'm going to show you what it looked like versus what it felt like. So the wave, and I have to apologize about my camera. My solo shot has been acting up. So I'm giving you the beach view as well as the POV view. And for reference, I am surfing this particular wave on the 5.4 setup as a Twinser. So I mentioned my solo shot was kind of on the fritz, so I wanted to take this opportunity to give a huge shout out to Wade Brown, a photographer in the San Clemente area that took the time off to come and film one of my sessions. So it was absolutely clutch in my situation, and probably one of the very few reasons why I'm able to do this review, because I got at least some footage. And you can definitely tell the difference between his framing and quality of video versus my solo shot. So I mentioned I surfed this board in 2 different sizes as well as different fin configurations. And here on this orange board, I'm surfing it as a 2+1. I tried it as a thruster and it lacked the drive I needed, I think because the waves are so soft. But the 2+1 was the best setup. And here I think that I'm using the Endorphins. These are Aaron's fins. When I got this thing home, I put on the Taylor Knox, NVS Taylor Knox hatchet style twin with trailer, and it went magic. So this is the clip of me on that same board with the Taylor Knox hatchet style twins. I felt like it had a lot more drive and projection, but still had that maneuverability because it's a 2+1 setup. And if you didn't already know, speed is the name of the game. And in marginal conditions where you need to be able to generate your own speed with drive and projection, this board is clutch. Here, you'll see me do a foam climb, and I try to do a 360 because I had to wash off all that speed. And here, this is the 5.0 version that I'm surfing as a 2+1 using the NVS Orcas, which are huge fins. But because this board is so small, the curve of the tail rocker is a little bit more exaggerated, and I needed the fins for this soft day. I rode it as a thruster, I tried it as a thruster, but on this 5.0 version, it just lacked the drive that I'm used to in small waves. But having said that, the 5.0, just because of the length of the outline, was so loose and maneuverable. It's often a trade-off between drive and maneuverability. If you have too much drive, it's going to be a little too tight. If you have a board that's super loose and maneuverable, it probably is going to lack drive. So you're just trying to find a balance. And a lot of times, regarding the rocker of a shorter board, the tail rocker gets a little bit more exaggerated because you're moving it back. I hope that makes sense. So overall, I preferred the 5.4, even though the board was a tad too big for me. It still surfed really well. Plenty of drive, plenty of bottom projection, just fun overall. Lots of speed, easy to get into waves. I gotta say that, I was drawn to this outline, and I definitely wasn't disappointed. And for those of you interested in purchasing from a local shaper, this is the perfect opportunity. These are demo boards, one of which is Aaron's personal board. So contact Aaron and see if you can borrow it and just get a session on it. And to recap, this board is an Uber Groveler, and the Twinser is going to have the most drive, but gets a little tight, and if you step back, it almost gets too loose because there's just more space without fins. The 2+1 seemed to work overall the best, ease of use. The thruster, again, I don't like thrusters generally, so I don't really connect or click with them. But the thrusters seem to have less drive, but I did only try it on the 5.0, and I think the 5.0 also, even with a 2+1, lacked a bit of drive. I think the 5.0, because of the curve of the tail rocker, might work best at some place like Trestles, which Aaron is a local, and I think he shapes a lot of his boards for that wave. Talking about my specific wave, just less rocker would be perfect. But that's the beauty of going with a local shaper. You can have that conversation, they can make the adjustments, and you can get the perfect board. All right, guys, I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and apologies for how long this video took from the last one. Again, my solo shot's busted, so I don't know when the next one will come out, but I'll try to get it out as soon as possible.